Anyway, boom, live and direct on the TruMon Show with my brother Prashant Trivedi. How are you?
I'm fine. How is everything in Canada? Like it's getting colder, must be
Yeah,
like.
it's getting a little colder. Like the temperature has dropped a bit. It's better for the laptops and all the equipment too because it's been a very hot summer.
Yeah,
Honestly, I don't recall in my lifetime having that much heat. It was a wonderful summer. Me, I love the heat.
yeah, it's good.
I love to
I
be in the heat.
I think that's good. I mean, human body temperature is 37 degrees.
Yeah,
So like a degree Celsius in Celsius. So like anything which is closer to that is better for the human body than anything lesser than that. So
I,
so
I
yeah.
don't think we're really meant to live in the north. Maybe the body adapt for sure, but I prefer hot temperatures definitely.
Obviously, you're not meant to. I mean, obviously, that's why you have to put all the skins on you and stuff to not freeze. I mean, you can't just with a human skin live there,
That's it.
So yeah, yeah,
So no, so it's been great. It's been a great summer, and now we're gonna dive deep into the scriptures. The
yes,
scriptures for the now. The book we have done the first intro. We
yes,
knew we were gonna do the thing, but you've been traveling a bit, so that's why it's been took
yeah,
like a month or two before we come back. But it's
yeah,
timeless stuff. I'm not stressed out with this. I'm
yes,
too blessed to be stressed.
yes,
That's it. So let's start at the beginning. Okay, at the beginning you go with the A-E-I-E-O-U-M. Okay, en
yeah,
français,
yeah,
whatever. En anglais, A-E-I-O-U-M. Okay, the
yeah,
symbol of creation, the real home revealed. Okay, and
yeah.
I have a lot of questions for that because it seems very simple to say something
Yeah.
like that. I don't know if
Okay.
I do it good. I have to practice more, maybe.
Yeah.
But I've
Yeah. I
been
mean, it's not
practicing.
easy. I mean, I just think people should just do R's first. Okay, rather than doing the whole sound. You can't do that thing. You just do a R sound first. That is good enough because people's jaws are not very properly that thing working, and so just an R sound with their head up and neck back is a good enough start for people. They don't need to do the whole sound because I mean that's the sound of creation as a whole, and it's not like in English it's written like A E I O U, but in actually it's A E E U A I O O, like so it's a lot more than. But if you write it in English language, that's the way you can write it. Like that's all.
Okay, because that's
Yeah,
my question. Okay, if we say
yeah,
that this is the symbol of creation, but we're talking about English and
yeah.
there's language older than English. So what was it in Sanskrit? Like what was the symbol of creation? Like in Sanskrit, I know this is translated. Does it
Yeah.
sound the same? Is it the same sound,
No, no, like
just
this.
not the
See the,
same
the
letter?
English vowels. The vowels in the English language are A, E, I, O, U. Everyone knows these are the five vowels in the English language. But they've come from a root, like Sanskrit language, where the vowels are more. So the sound is and then then A, and then E, then 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 A, then I, then O, then OW. So they are all these more sounds. So in English, they were simplified into A E I O U. Okay, so like
Okay.
so this is a simplified version. So Sanskrit is like a Unix of languages, and English is like an operating system which is working on top of that Unix system of Sanskrit. So Sanskrit is the core root language of any language on earth. Like so.
Yeah, I've been looking at the Sanskrit dictionary because I've
Yeah,
been diving deep into this stuff, and I wanted to
yeah,
know. I'm like, okay, that is English, but what is in another language or French? That's good for French. That's good for all the language that
yeah.
use that kind of letter.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the vowels will be same. Like
Latin.
R sound will be R sound, no matter what language it is. Like, or the vowels will be same throughout. But whether they'll use them fully or not fully, that's the thing. But all languages will have the same vowels, like no matter which language on earth, you know. So
And that's very interesting when we talk about the vowel because these letters are in every word. I don't think you can make a. That's why you say also that every vowel is part of the play. That was just that page for me was a revelation because
yeah,
I never really thought about the vowel. They
yeah,
are in every word. I don't think
yeah.
I can make a words without a vowel.
Yeah, but even like in Celtic, like in like Welsh, where less vowels are used, there are some words like confront, like C W W M M F R D. Like, but in speaking, they're still used, even if they're not used in writing. They're still used. When you speak a word, you'll have to have some come or some sound come. Like even in languages where there less of them are used, but like they still are being used in every language. There's no language without these.
Okay, and if we talk about that symbol that you have here, the Trinity, it's the Trinity with the there's like an arc and a dot and another
Yeah,
looks like the sun to me or something, the moon or something.
yeah.
But do you find that symbol in the stars? Like, can you? Because honestly, you
No,
need
no,
to
no. It's not
observe
in the
them.
stars.
Maybe.
This is a symbol of creation. Like what? It's like the basics of creation. Okay, like it's like the dot. It's like a dot, like the first dot.
Okay, but
Then
where was the dot? This is my question. This because now this is in the black background. Like I was like, is this in the sky at
dot means
night?
like it's darkness. Like you think it's complete darkness. Like then a point of light. Okay, single point of light. Okay, now single point of light starts moving. If your single point of light starts like moving, that is the second thing. That first curve. Yeah,
Yeah.
that first curve, like that's after that, like the first curve is a single point of start, which starts moving. And so when it moves one time, okay, and then it starts moving three times. So it basically the numbers one, two, three come into being. Number one, number two, and number three. Okay, and then after that, all the other numbers follow. Okay, from one to three, you can make all the numbers. Like okay, like you add one more to that thing. That's four, five, six, and seven, eight, nine. Like that. You're going in that repeat loop of one, two, three, basically.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
so this is the one, two, three, and like then there is like a sound which is associated, so that like which can basically create, like like when they say word made the world and God was word, and there was only the word, like so that is the sound which is just like frequency. Okay, which in this physical plane we are in with this mouth, we can put it closest in this terms, with the mouth we have, with the that thing existence we have, with the body we have. So yeah,
Definitely, the words are something because if I look at just the word and
yeah,
world, you just add a L in there.
yeah.
So definitely, to me, it's an
And
indication.
L is, yeah, and L is a turning. You're turning. You're just turning
Yeah,
like a loop. Like that is an L. Okay, like because word in the word, the W is a wave. It's like a wave. Your wave, and then O is a circle. Okay, and R is a rotation. R you rotating. Okay, D is like a cup. Okay, so waves circling and rotating in a cup. That's all word means, actually. The word. Yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
it's interesting because if the M is in the symbol of creation, why in the word world we have the W, which is the M, but upside down.
Opposite. Because M is in creation, of because M is matter. Like the word ma, which is which is mama, which is mom, which is
Maman, ouais.
maternal, which is matter, which becomes
Maternelle.
matter, which
Yeah.
is physical matter existence. This thing is all M. No matter what language you see it in, the word for mama, mom, everything will be that M only. Okay, no matter what the language. Okay, so then that becomes matter. So the matter is created from light. So in that progression, the AEIOU progression, and finally you reach the matter. From a basic opening, you get to the matter point. So
Is that why we have water also? Water written with the W. You know that out of the water
that's a
comes
form of
life.
matter. That's a form of matter only.
Okay.
Water is matter only. Like you can feel water. You can like yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So that's where like there's the C, MER, mer, like that is M only.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see it.
Yes, yes.
And when you talk about like the dot moves to create an arc, golden mean spiral. Now we heard about that golden mean spiral. And the
Yeah.
one becomes two, static and kinetic, Shiv and
Shakti.
Shakti. Three arcs are created with the dot in the center. Trinity is established. Multiverse is born. Now you're
Yes.
talking about multiverse, not
Yeah.
universe.
Yes. 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 Multiverse, because see, universe is unity one only. Okay. When you go past one, even if you go to two, then it's multi. Okay. When you gone to three, you've gone multi only. Like you've gone past the unity. Unity is just the dot. Okay. Uni means single verse. Universe, single verse. But there's a lot of verses here, like a lot of different frequencies, a lot of bandwidths, a lot of things, a lot of that thing. So a lot of planes of existence. A lot of realms and planes of existence. So each plane can be considered each one verse. Then two there are many. So when it's mining, then I call it multi rather than calling it uni. I mean, there is unifying principle to it all, but it's still multi to me. Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah,
also if you
yeah,
look just at their I don't think they're really holy scriptures. To me, this is holy scriptures. But if you
yeah,
look at the Bible, it's more than name.
yeah,
Bible. You
yeah.
have the many verse in there. Like that's what
Yeah.
they say. It's verse, like verset, des versets.
The verse. Yeah, so verse will be many. So like this multiverse, like that thing. Even beings, expressions, beings are like even if they are doing something or that thing, then they're doing it in different verses. Even the same thing, people say it'll be said in different ways. Like it, so that will be all different verses. So to me, that is the that thing, and that is the multi sense there. And once you go past one, for me,
Yeah.
multi has started. Like for me, that's what I'm trying to say here. Yeah,
Okay, I get a bit more clarity on this. That's
yeah,
good. Now
yeah,
the name. We're gonna go with the another thing. Is the next one you talk about is the name. What's in the name? Not
yeah,
much considering the number of Jones, Davids there are in this world. It is
yeah.
just an identity tag, which you unfortunately have to share with many others. But if one looks deeper, a name might turn out to be more than that. It
Yeah.
might reveal one's function within the bigger scheme of things.
Yes,
No, I am not talking about numerology, even though that is also a good starting point to discover the workings of multiversal functionings. For
yeah.
example, going into the basics of yours truly's name, we discover. Now I want you to explain it because your name is very, very interesting. Is it the name that your parents gave you, Prashant Trivedi?
Yes, like see, Trivedi
Like
is my surname of my
Trivedi
family.
is your family
Surname.
name?
Family surname. Okay. Yeah. Trivedi is my family surname. And
Wow.
Prashant was the name which was given. Okay.
Wow.
So, and I've not changed it.
Okay,
I've not.
hold on. Just before start, because someone
Yeah.
gave you that name, it's your parents. Was your
Yes.
parents like very into truth and I don't know if I should call it spirituality. No, I don't know if you're comfortable with that name, to spirituality and
I
stuff.
mean,
Were your parents like
I mean,
very aware?
they didn't give it any second thought, or they didn't plan it to give that name like that. Like, okay, it just happened that they gave that
Okay.
name, because with me, like, if I've taken birth here on Earth, okay, things will already be in place. Like that this will come to them, or like they'll come to know the fractal will always be there automatically. you know so see, since I'm not taking birth here in a like a cycle of like when I'm just stuck here, like, and I'm just taking births and cycles here, I'm just coming here like one time, like, so for me, like, the parents and stuff and the family I'm born in has been chosen, like, it's not random chance or occurrence that I'm born in that specific family, in that specific country, in that specific place, or in that specific that thing. That is all a like a thing which is already been planned. Like, not it's not an unplanned thing. Like, so yeah,
I think that too. I think probably before we come into conception, we
yeah,
probably can the soul or there like I cannot recall having chosen my mother and my father, but probably we choose where we're gonna end up Like I did this makes sense a
Yeah,
lot.
I mean the thing is, not everybody gets to choose. Finally, the thing is that for most people, what it is that whatever frequency they are at, okay, they are automatically thirsted into that frequency, whatever fits that frequency the closest. Okay, so they just thrust it into that. Like when in a case of like where I am deliberately taking a birth on earth or something like that, then I have a choice to go through the whole of it and choose whatever gene pool, whatever that thing, whatever family or whatever that thing, particular thing I'm going to be born into. Okay, so for me it's an absolute choice sort of thing, like so so those
Okay.
people are certain people, like a family which has been like a vegetarian for thousands of years. Okay, okay, there has to be a lot of conditions which have to be met for me to be born. Okay, in that.
Born and enlightened also because Trivedi is a big family. Now I'm sure you can find many Trivedi in India. So
Yeah,
is there other
yeah, like
light
there might be other
beings
people
like
who
you
can start.
shining as much light in your family? Like
Yeah, so the thing is that it's not like that Trivedi means that other people can take that surname. Like, okay, like a lot of people have taken it, the surname now, but that doesn't mean that they have the knowledge of the three Veds. Veds are systems of knowledge, like sonic codes, systems of like just like Iom is the starting sound, then after that more sounds come, and then more sounds make this world or other worlds too. So so knowledge of those systems of sounds, you're supposed to have the knowledge of the three main systems. That's what means the Vedi. That's what it means. But it doesn't mean that anybody holding that surname, like a lot of families have taken the surname, that doesn't mean they have any knowledge. And a lot of those families can actually be not living in a proper fashion, not doing the basics at all. So that doesn't mean anything. A lot of times it doesn't mean anything because you're not doing what that is. So
so
yeah.
are you are you the first one of your family to really like search not research, maybe it's more a
Not research,
research of
it's to
yourself?
just bring it out like properly, like so even in my family people were like actually saying sort of true to some things, like vegetarianism or
Right.
not drinking alcohol or these kind of things, or having some basics, or like learning Sanskrit or having those, those things were there in the family, like so those things have to be there in the ancestors, and not to misuse that position of, like when you have a position, like because these are called Brahmins, like that's the highest strata of society in within the Vedic thing. So like not to misuse that position of being, and not to turn things upside down, and not to turn that into like commercial profit, or not to turn these things into, there are a lot of
Yeah, yeah.
things. Yeah,
But I find it interesting to
yeah.
go back to that beginning of PT because come on, you've been having a childhood, you've been having like a
Yes,
teenager
yes,
years, and then
yes,
like you've grown
yes.
like
I mean, I
everyone.
mean,
Huh?
I think I
You,
couldn't have chosen any other family.
you were a baby once.
Yes, I was a baby once, and yeah, and I chose the family. Like if I look on Earth, all the thing. I mean, they even if I look right now, I couldn't have chosen anybody, any other family on Earth. Like I couldn't have. This was the only, like in Earth there are not many options right now. Like Earth, the options are very limited where you can take birth. Actually, where you can have a proper upbringing or better upbringing, or so it is very less. Um, like thing like I find that India is the only country where you can be have that like a childhood and stuff properly. And even in India, then there are particular north, like there's particular parts, and that too in that particular families only you can be born into. So the choice is very limited, and I I think was in the best possible thing possible on this earth. Like it that let's put it like that.
Yeah,
Like there was
because also you're born in India, eh? So India is very. You
yeah.
guys are very big on. I think the idea I have of India, as soon as I think about India, is the woman with the red dot in
Yeah.
the forehead, because that's what we see here. But that to me, that is a sign of wisdom, is a sign of like a third eye. So I see people in India from here in Canada at a very spiritual, like closer to alignment than for sure people in America.
Yeah, yeah, and the thing is, India. First thing which comes out from India is vegetarianism. Okay, the whole concept of vegetarian only comes
That's
from
it.
India. Okay, so India was mostly vegetarian, like even 50 years ago, or like 100 years ago, mostly vegetarian. So that whole concept of agriculture is primarily like a Indian concept, like like where you are having that. So that is the main like a basic thing of the civilization. So there was a civilization. So there is a civilization means civilized. You're civilized. You are civilized. You have a civil kind of thing. So in that, if you're killing animals and stuff, that is not very civilized, right? Like it's not not civilization. Okay,
No.
so so it is the closest. Then that's why, like, I mean, a lot of times in India, like growing up as a like a child, you can have a childhood much more than any other country on earth. Like so, yeah,
Yeah, you're not
yeah,
stuck in front of a TV, I'm sure. You're probably playing with the cows and the animals outside a lot
yeah,
more. You probably have a lot more contact with nature. Here it's
yeah,
horrible, okay?
yeah,
Horrible, the state of the...
yeah,
Sometimes you
yeah,
look at it and it's
yeah,
wow.
yes, it
And I
is, and
prefer
it is
not to
also
talk
that
about it because
in the
it's
West also there is a whole lot of your chances of child molestation and all of that are much more, like in the
oh
West,
yeah.
like like okay, so all those like a lot of horrible things can happen to you. Like you can be traumatized. Your childhood is like a traumatizing process, like in the West, like so. Yes, so
Also, because during your childhood, you're very much under hypnose. Like, I don't remember too much when I was young because I was like under hypnose. If I wouldn't be under hypnose,
yeah,
some keep the hypnose all their life, but
hypnosis, yeah,
that's
yeah,
it. But
yeah.
I think I felt like under hypnose when I was younger.
Yes, and the thing is, yeah, I mean, like, and if you're not that thing, then it is quite troubling, like for you, like to see, like, okay, so in the West, like, even if some people are not liking the food, like, or the animals, or whatever cutting happening in front of them, or whatever they're eating, and it's like bones coming in, it's smelling, they don't want to have that kind of food, but then they're stuck in that kind of thing where they have to face all that as kids, like, so they are actually, so it is not a very pleasant experience. Let's say, like, it's not pleasant too. So a lot of things are not very pleasant in that thing in the West, like growing up.
Oh no, there's a lot of things that come and condition you to think, condition you to act, and I don't think you
and a lot
come
of
with...
abuse is there as well, like, I mean, abuse and stuff and all of kind of things and stuff like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
too.
yeah.
I mean,
And the
so
food is very it's
yes,
terrible.
food is horrible. That thing is there. You don't have any that thing, and then on top of that, you have all the systems which are trying to condition you, like, so you don't have that kind of freedom of like being first in your formative years, which creates a lot of pressure, like on you, like when you're grown older, by the like you are quite messed up by the time you're 17, 18 and stuff, like
Quite messed up. I
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's with politeness. We say it with politeness. Quite
Yes,
messed up.
yeah, yeah, I mean, they agree themselves, that's what they say, like teenagers and teenage angst and then all of this, and yeah, yeah,
Yep.
and then it's called like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So next, the reels, that one was very very significant for me. Like the whole book resonated, like I said, but some parts were like very significant, and I reread them many times. The real stairway to heaven, bliss, enlightenment, because I don't think we're on earth just to experience the little feelings, because it's all about our emotional state. How do I feel right now? Am I enthusiastic doing that talk? Am I
yes,
very much on fire? And the emotional state will
yes,
bring you to take action. According to my emotion, I will take the action.
yes,
So
yes.
bliss
And then,
is an
yeah, and then that too,
emotion.
consistency in it,
Huh?
and then consistency, it's not just like in one moment, it's like what is the consistency over time, the time
Yeah.
is the thing. Use people feel one way, like today, but not tomorrow, and then there's no consistency in time, so it has to be consistent and actually working through time, otherwise time will always find you out. Okay, time is a thing which will always, like, if you have any kind of so you can have an emotion which is there today, but it will not last 10 years or 5 years or 4 years or anything, because it can't travel through that time. It's not real enough, strong enough, or that thing enough, coherent enough to last that
That's
period
it.
of
And
time. Yeah,
sometimes the opposite can happen. Also, the emotion can be very strong negatively, and you stay with it all your life.
yeah, Yeah,
So
but even then, but that is hard to take all through. Like it'll dip. It has a dip. It's not the same the whole time. Like it takes its dips and it cannot
you
last through
mean
time.
the bliss feeling? You mean?
Or any feeling. I'm just
Okay.
talking bliss feeling. People don't even get anyways because bliss is very far from people. Okay, people can
Even me,
get.
even me.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
Bliss
talking
is
about
like
bliss. Huh?
people can get some degree of enjoyment maximum. Like that is because the way their lifestyles and their basics and the way of being and whatever they do is that bliss is a still an unreachable state. That's why people go for drugs and stuff because that's where they think that they will get it somewhere closer to it. That's the whole point of all the drug use in the West. Like there's so much
Oh
drug
yeah,
use in the West. Like so, it is an attempt to get to closer to that bliss state. Like yeah, but it isn't. But drugs don't do it. It's just like illusion of sorts of that thing. So yeah, like that's why they call them ecstasy and stuff. The pills and stuff. They like to call them ecstasy. So yeah, and people think that they are high, they're feeling good for that moment in that like hour or 2 or 7 hours or 10 hours, but then you back with a third and then you go down even more than you started, like so you're more depressed than when you started, like so yeah. So
exact. That's why
yeah,
people are depressed, and these days they can't get enough of what they don't want.
yeah,
Simple.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
bliss enlightenment, which is a great, great feeling. I would love to, but I don't know if I'm close to that feeling. It's hard to say. I'm very enthusiastic, very the happy thing. I would like to let it go because I think we deserve to be more than happy here.
Yeah.
Like this is also like it's a one-time deal. This is a one-time deal. Life. I'm probably never gonna come back in this body, in this
Yeah.
body. So it's a really to put all the effort necessary to get the higher emotional state I can get during the time I'm here. But it's not
Yes.
hard to. It's not easy to reach.
Yeah, the point is for that one has to start somewhere, and some like enthusiasm is there. That's a good thing to have enthusiasm and then start with the basics. Because if you don't start the enthusiasm basics with the enthusiasm, then you will not be able to sustain it. Like
Oh, I'm
so when
very prime, very
yeah.
pumped, very enthusiastic, very on
Yeah, yeah,
fire. But
yeah. So that's a very important thing because most people cannot generate enthusiasm for basics in the primary. People want to run to the secondary and the tertiary. People are always running for the secondary and tertiary. They don't want to be in the. They think, oh, basics. What basics? Like I mean, they think they have already done that at school or when they were younger or that thing. But you have not done it. Your school has not taught you basics. You have not done any such thing. You have not actually done the basics because school has not taught you, your society has not taught you, your parents have not taught you those things. Okay, so you have actually not done it ever. So no matter what age you are, even you might be 60 or 70, you still have to come to the basics because you have never done it in your life. There's nothing you have done it even close to it, like so there is nothing. So to skip that is a very nonsensical thing. People shouldn't have that thing wanting to skip that because then without the foundation you cannot make anything you make will just crumble. But people are always trying to make, create this. I'll go make music, I'll make painting, I'll do this, I'll do that, do that. I mean, all that will be not any of any use for your own self and for others too, like not just for both parties involved, for yourself and for others both. If it's not of any proper use and it takes them in a wrong direction, then you have the karma for it. And the bigger you get in this matrix, and the more karma comes on you if you are putting the people on the wrong direction and the wrong path, you know so so
that's why I focus a lot on the basic, like I told
yeah,
you, and
yeah.
I'm not so much into big knowledge like astrology, and that maybe eventually I'll dive deep into astrology
I
and
mean,
want
not just
to
astrology, I'm talking about music. Even people dive into music like
music
music is
and
not
yeah.
knowledge. People think music is not knowledge. People think that is just anybody can do music. I mean, so everybody jumps into it. That's what I said. Like, and then they make some music, and that is such certain kind of vibration, which affects people a certain way. Now, that way, the way it affects people, that is not the way the people should be affected, and that's not the way. It doesn't give them any kind of coherence and actual knowledge of how to live. And it sends them the wrong direction. All kinds of music which are there on earth right now, made by people who have confused themselves, create confusion in other people. Okay, because you're confused yourself and you are actually putting that confusion out towards the thing. And people are, and you make statements, you can make a lot of very clear statements like, oh, I know something, and you speak those things, but they're actually really confused things. And you, and the more like some people say it with more conviction, so then more other people believe it just because this person is saying it with conviction, but the reality is that that's not knowledge of any kind. So that kind of thing is there in sound, music, and everything, not just astrology. Or for me, everything is the same, like music, astrology, all these things are tertiary things. Like first comes you and yourself. And like most of the people who are big in music industry or anything, they couldn't take care of their own body. Even they are smoking pot mostly, or like drinking alcohol, or taking drugs and things like that. They are that kind of people, you know. And now they are become the preachers. Like being a musician is like the same as a preacher. You are a preacher. Like if you are a musician, I mean, it's a simple thing. Like it's no different. Like you're actually preaching. Like like
Yeah, yeah. There's a very, very different step between creating music from the studio and going to perform this on stage. That's a very big difference there. Like,
yeah,
now
yeah,
you're an actor, you're a performer onto the Babylonian stage, whatever
yeah,
stage it is.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's very different. And the
yeah.
way music.
And also, like, then you're a preacher. Like being a musician is a preacher. You are preaching.
Oh yeah, for
every,
sure.
every note you play, every that thing you do, anything, you are preaching. It's a preacher job. It's But to preach, do you know what to preach? Like, do you actually know anything to actually preach to
Yeah.
people? Like, and that's where the problem arises. They don't know themselves for their own lives. They have no idea what they're doing in their own lives, but they are still going out and preaching to other people, which creates a very, very problematic situation. And if that wasn't there, we would have less of the problems. If there were not all these people always coming out and telling people these things and giving these kind of things to people, we would have a better system where people will actually be receptive to something basics, more basics and stuff. The more of this music and stuff people hear, the less of basics they want to do. Like Jim saying, that's the actual. Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's an interesting word also,
yeah,
music,
yeah,
because it's music. Why do
yeah,
we say music? It should be a Z if it's music, because it's music. It's sick anyway.
yeah, yeah. I mean, because it's a muse. I see the word muse, English,
Amuse.
muse. A muse. I see the muse. Okay, so that's where it came from. The word came from muse. I see. Okay, so the muse is the am use a matter.
Okay, but
I
why do
can.
we change the S for the Z? Because
Yeah,
it's
but use, the word use is use. Use is use. Okay. I can use what I am using. I am using this. It's for, yeah, yeah. So
okay. I
I
get
am using. It's like a use. I am using. That's what muse is. Yeah, that's what music is.
okay.
Like I'm using this. Can you use this, or can I use this, or can you use this? That's all it is. That's all I'm saying. So people don't understand that even music is not a basic thing, or that on the primaries. It's also in the same level as astrology. Okay, it's but people do anything, like people do astrology right now. People do music. People do all these things which are tertiary things, which they, according to me, like they are not on the level to do those things, because they are not gonna actually give people any kind of proper reality. Okay, yes. So
Knowledge worth knowing.
worth knowing means which is applicable, like which is knowledge is like which is applicable, which you can apply to yourself, which is to start with your own self, means with your body first. Okay, so if you can't apply it to that, then I mean, to me it's completely useless. And that kind of thing, and it takes you in wrong directions. I mean, people listen to all kinds of music and it all takes them into wrong direction. I mean, people listen to reggae and that kind of thing, then they'll start smoking pot. If people listen to rock and roll, they'll start drinking. If people are listening to trance and that thing, they'll start taking ecstasy and drugs. And if people are listening to that thing, all of this has an actual effect. Okay, yes. So it's not like that it doesn't affect you. And people say, oh no, it's nothing. I mean, that's nonsense. I mean, everything affects you. Okay, and it takes you in a certain direction. Okay, like, and that direction is not necessarily for your evolution. Okay, that's very clear, because even the beings who are making that stuff, don't care one bit about their own evolution, let alone anyone else's. So
Like you've been mentioning people smoking pot. That's one thing I haven't found in your book is cannabis, and I would
yeah,
like to bring you on this fast. Just surface the topic a bit. But cannabis is a plant. Some
yeah.
people use it as medicine. What's your take on cannabis to be used
I
as
mean,
medicine? I'm not
okay,
saying
there are all kinds of plants on Earth. Okay, there are
okay,
many
yeah,
plants. There are plants which are poisonous also. I mean, if you drink anything or eat anything of them, you'll die. Okay, that is, there are plants like that too. Just because it's a plant doesn't make it good. First, like number one,
okay,
just because it's a plant doesn't make it holy. Okay, okay. There is a plant which is considered holy basil. Okay, which is tulsi, which is a holy plant. Okay, when why it is considered holy is because if you take its leaf, it is balanced in all the three humors. So when you actually take it, it turns your body towards balancing itself. Okay, so that is called a holy plant. Cannabis is not a holy plant. First, number one. Okay,
okay.
okay.
But
So
everybody consider it as the plant that's gonna save this plane. And
yeah, because it is not a holy plant. It all it does, it's a sedative. Okay, in a simple terms,
now
it's a
imagine it's legal here in Canada.
yeah, it's a sedative. If you have any kind of pain, if you have any kind of that thing, it can reduce that. It can that thing you'll not feel it. Okay, so like it's a sedative, and it can put you into a, like if you are having a mental tension and a lot of that thing, it'll relax you out. Okay, because it's a sedative. Okay, so it that's its function. That's the function of that plant. Okay, but sedation you can do, but afterwards you will come back to the same state once the effect wears off. It's not like then you'll need it again, then you'll need it again, then you'll need it again. It's like you'll have to be continuously. So why do actions in the first place which are making you tense? So it's not going to solve the root core issue. It's just going to give you temporary sedation. That's all it's going to do. So yeah.
But
So
like I
yeah,
say often, I smoke cannabis myself, but I don't smoke it to get high or like I don't smoke because before I come and do this with you, I don't
yeah,
smoke. I need my head. I need to be here present.
yeah,
So
yeah,
there's times where I use it
yeah,
mostly at night. I have a huge trauma on the knee, huge permanent
yeah,
freaking pain. So
yeah.
sometimes it's necessary
Yeah,
for me to take.
so that's exactly what I said. That's what it does. That's
That's
what I'm
what I
saying.
use it for.
Yeah, that's what it does. So that's a plant. Like there are a lot of plants which have different characteristics. Some plants give you this. Some plants that is that particular plant, but it's not by any means a holy plant which gives you a holistic holy thing. So the only holy plant is called holy basil. Okay,
Okay.
called holy basil. Okay, not the basil, normal basil, but holy basil. Okay, which is the only plant which has all the three humors balanced. Okay, which is what is required for the human body to be healthy, is that the three humors in your body are balanced. Okay, so that is the only plant which does that. So that is the only plant and doesn't give you any kind of high. That plant doesn't give you any kind of high or anything. It just brings you into balance, nothing else. Okay, so like I mean cannabis also is not a high. I mean that's like people think that even alcohol gives people high. People think that alcohol gives them high. I mean alcohol is also a sedative. Okay, so that's not, it can't be called a high. Like it's a low, but it feels like a high to you, but just because your brain has stopped functioning for a bit, like that's all it is.
That's all it is because I
Yeah,
never feel high smoking weed. I feel
yeah,
like I'm stoned, like the stone. And,
yeah.
I
So
become
that's why it's called
almost,
stone. Like yeah. It'll
yeah.
like and alcohol also like put you to sleep finally. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Time.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, so that's all it is. Like these are sedatives. So
Yeah.
I mean, they're different kind of sedatives. Like one works or functions on the motor nerves, and one on other things. So they are different kind. And obviously, alcohol is even more dangerous because um, it gives you a sense of a euphoria first, like or some sort of like that thing that you like
And
can do anything.
here,
So
here in Canada, alcohol is consumed very, very intensively. Canada and
yeah,
US, like
yeah,
especially here in Quebec, is the beer. Everybody drink beer almost, and
yeah,
cannabis now is becoming legal. Like we're gonna be able to buy it in a few days in any
yeah.
store all over the
I mean,
nation.
yeah.
So, how is India? I'm curious about India, where you're from. Like, how are people with alcohol and cannabis?
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, see, what is called cannabis? It's a weed, which was first found in Himalayas only. Okay, it's a weed. Weed means like people used to like it used to grow automatically in between the crops,
Yep.
and people used to come throw it away. They used to cut it and throw it
Okay.
away. Okay, it was a weed. That's why it's called weed. The word term weed comes from the fact that it was actually a weed in the Himalayas. So in the Himalayas, it grows like by itself, a lot of it. It's like unwanted plants which grow in your garden. Okay, so it's not a any big thing out there. Like I mean that
Okay.
way, like they can have like all the that thing in the world. Like now the same Himalayan weed, they try to grow it in California and stuff. And they have to put in these greenhouses and all this and this technology and that technology, and just to try and recreate the Himalayan conditions. But in Himalayas, the conditions, weather conditions, and the altitude and everything is such that it grows naturally and automatically. Okay, so India is the birthplace of this plant,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's and that thing, and in the last like let's say 1,000 2,000 years, there have been some people who started using it and smoking it, and so it became a more big thing. So those people, only the West learnt about this. The hippies came to know about this from those people which are called sadhu babas and stuff like that in India. So that's how it has reached the West even. this
Yeah.
this particular thing. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's socially accepted here
Yeah,
already.
yeah, 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 but in India it was a like a, I mean there was no, it was never illegal or anything, or anything like that, so there was nothing. So
But
I
I
mean,
think there is an agenda also with making this substance legal. They want to put everybody stoned like a stone. They don't want
yeah, I
people
mean, yeah,
biking.
legal obviously, like it should be neither legal or illegal. It's just a plant. I mean, there's nothing to do with legal or illegal in this. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
So to
it's,
legalize it, to market it, because you
yeah, I mean,
market it.
yeah, yeah, the point is like to make it too much into a big deal or what it is not. Okay, when you turn something into a big deal, like spirulina in the West was made into a big deal. Like, okay, just eat spirulina and you'll be fine. Like all, like, so it's like all these different things are marketed in the West different times as the like absolute saviors of everything. Like, oh, eat goji berries and you don't need to eat anything else. Like, like oh, yeah,
Goji
okay,
berries.
yeah.
You see them all over the place now. I never used to see them 5 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I mean, and these are just crazes and like fads which are created in the
Yeah.
West because they don't have any actual idea of food or anything. So they create a fad every 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, some kind of fad which people keep on going crazy about because you don't have any balanced diet, you don't have any of these things. So might as well create these crazy fads all every 2 years and 5 years and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
crazy
so
diet is the
yeah,
first thing you mentioned when you talk
and that's
about
why
this, and
that's
then
why I didn't mention cannabis in the book because I put them as like the in the terms of like drugs or like those kind of things, like which now it's a more that thing drug which is a well-known drug, like let's say, like, so it comes under all of those things. They can be, I mean, that way heroin also comes from a plant only, like, and poppy and stuff like so. I mean, like I mean that's like I mean I can put them all under the same classification of outside and where you're trying to get something from outside and just trying to create that state within your body rather than working from the inside with the right attitude and behavior to create that state.
here there's a question I have for you because in the Rick you say the right diet, okay, avoiding violent foods like meat and bliss reducing ones like white sugar and genetically modified foods. But in your recommendation, you mark veggies, lentils, grains, nuts, roots, herbs, spices, and three dots. But why not fruit?
Okay, fruit is like a
Good question, eh?
like fruit is like
Yeah.
acidic mostly.
Okay.
Mostly. Okay, so you can only eat very small amounts of fruit. Okay, okay, it's acid.
Okay.
Okay,
Especially the
okay.
oranges and stuff.
Or like, and especially in the West, like even apple is so acidic. Like if someone eats a whole apple, like their whole brain will be spinning like for a for a while, like you know, like just by
Hold
the
on, hold on. There's something you're saying here, no? Because apple.
yeah,
It's something you see here all over the place. Apples are very popular. People eat apple. But also, I remember being told that someone bit into an apple and there's Apple's computer. And so Apple might not be that good for us, maybe.
yeah. I mean, they said apple a day keeps doctor away, and these kind of terms are there, like. But apple is an acidic fruit, like it's very acidic, and especially in the West, the one which grows in the West is more acidic, and because you can tell by the taste, the sweeter the apple, the less acidic it is. But you don't get very sweet apples. It's more,
Sometimes you
it's
bite in it and it's very sour, very
sour,
bitter.
like so. It is sour, like so. Then with that sourness, the sourness is from the acid, right? So,
Oh,
it's taking you from the away from the alkaline into the acidic. Okay, so that's the whole point. Like so, like that's why the witches used to have the apple and the poison and the apple and blah 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 stories are there, and the whole thing in the apple is not exactly a fruit which you can eat in huge amount like a whole apple or anything. Like even birds, if you notice, if they bite into apple, they just take a little.
yeah. The
Which
birds
which
only take a little bit, eh?
which bird eats a whole apple? I don't know of any. Uh, uh,
Even a
like
squirrel will get onto an apple, will only take a bite.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they can't. It will not eat a whole apple. Like no one will. Like
Very,
no
very
no
interesting.
animal
I've
is that
never.
crazy. Like yeah. So like I mean, only people are that crazy. Like so
And
they are harming
something,
their body.
yeah,
Like
something
because the West there was a thing called fruitarianism, like which came people started eating only fruits, okay, for living, and a lot of those people got stomach ulcers and everything, and they had stomach ulcers and all kinds of um, that things and yeah,
pasteurized and all that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, so fruits are just a addition onto your diet, like, like light addition. It's not a diet within itself. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's it. But
yeah,
very interesting about fruit because also that's what you find here. You go in the supermarket of L right there at the corner, and
yeah.
that's what
The
you
number
will
one
find.
food for humans out there is seeds.
Yeah,
Okay, seeds like rice is also seed. Grains, all grains are seeds. Lentils are seeds. These are seeds. So seeds is the main food of humans. Like actually, like not yeah,
especially the pumpkin seed. And I think there's something with the pumpkin very good for us. It's orange, first of all, it's orange. And it's the ear, they tell us to throw it away, to discard them and to throw them in the garbage because
yeah,
we only use them for Halloween. And,
yeah,
we put them in the
yeah,
psychotic
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, so most of the foods are seeds. I mean, like if you look at it, like Jim saying vegetarian food and the whole thing is seeds. Okay, so
And it
um,
must be very good for us to eat seeds.
yeah, so seeds are the main, and that too, like different kinds of seeds are of different kind of things. But in the West, the whole diet system is totally wrong because they don't know anything about diet. Like in the West, the whole thing was just a hunter-gatherer thing first. So from hunting, now they suddenly think that they are like they know about diet, but they don't, like and they are always confusing themselves and the the whole world. They're trying to confuse all the time with that. Like so that's just like a nonsensical thing. I mean, and people become vegetarian in the West also. They don't know what to eat after that. Like it becomes a very, very um, like a problematic thing, like for the West, like what to eat now. And like so,
Vegetarian, but then you turn around and you go drink beer, wine, you go to discotheque, you go, like you say in your books, you go to raves, you have
yeah,
a non-vegetarian lifestyle, but
yeah.
you eat veg.
And with a vegetarian diet, which you don't know what to eat.
Yeah,
On top of it, you don't know what to eat. Then you have a lifestyle which is totally like what you call non-veg, and then you put a lot of strain on your system, and then you just collapse basically. Like that's all which happens, and then they blame it on vegetarianism, that vegetarianism is bad, like look what is happening to this person, like look, like then they
yeah.
say like like it like just because you don't know what to eat, then you say vegetarianism itself is bad. Now so many books have come out just on that, just because like when you don't know what, like so that's yeah, yeah,
So again, you say fractal living environment, avoiding big cities, metal concrete buildings, power lines, mobile towers, etc. You recommend an old, properly braided landscapes, oceanside, old growth forest. A tree is a fractal. Ever wonder why Booth got enlightenment under an old tree? Fee-based architecture using biologically friendly building materials like granite, bamboo,
yeah.
amp, and granite is very
And
something.
wood and stone and everything, like like all of that, like basically whatever, like if you're in any kind of place, there's always soil from that area, there is always stone from that area, there's always stuff in that area wherever you live to actually make structures out of, you know. And every place has that available most of them the time. And so, and the places which don't have, that means they are not inhabitable anyways. Okay. So yeah, like
Because
a desert.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's very good. Like here, every houses is built with a foundation and it's concrete in the ground. That must
Yes.
disturb the telluric current of the earth. Like there's a current, there's an electric current
Yeah, obviously,
underground.
yeah. I mean, they make sure that the people make sure that the foundation itself is wrong of everything. You know, that is obviously the case. That's what I've been saying, that they don't take care of the foundation and stuff like that. But foundation you can do with a stone and stuff which is there in that area, or anything like hard soil and anything. Like, it doesn't have to be concrete. Like, I mean, it's not necessary to have concrete as foundation. You know, there were buildings before concrete, like, even
Out
was
of
it?
clay. Out
Yeah.
of clay comes granite, no?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's it.
I mean, obviously, granite is harder than any, or stronger than any concrete there is, you know, like,
Yeah.
yes. So, yeah,
Next, you say shareable thoughts. I like that one. I like that one. Share maximizing thoughts which can be shared with anyone. Eliminates needs for secrets and storage. Zero storage, infinite connectivity. Thoughts which relates to pure principle of the universe, like the patterns of nature functioning, sacred geometry, etc. But now, the question I have for you: you say thoughts which relate to the pure principle of the universe. Why use universe here and not multiverse?
okay. Because I am saying that thing to create a, like, because the basic principles, pure principles, when they come, they are applicable everywhere. Okay. So pure principles are only one of the one. Like, there is like this called Brahman, like this whole. You think take this thing as a whole, then it's one as a whole. Then it has these pure principles as a whole. So no matter which multi part you are in of it, they apply. Okay. It's these are not, let's say, like, they're not subject to discussion. Okay, they're not subject to, like, opinion. They're not subject to that. You people will actually talk about, oh, let's discuss this, let's debate this. This is not open to debate. Like, this is not open to that thing. That's why the uni in
Okay, I
this.
get it. It's pure principles. It's
Pure
in one.
principle.
Let's put it in one verse, and it's
Yeah, and
undiscussable.
yeah,
And
yeah, and it is
that's
not
it.
open to debate. It's not open to discussion. It's not open to any kind of anything. No matter what part or multiness of the system you are living in. Okay, these things are not open to that thing. They'll always be there. They are timeless. They are beyond time, and they'll always be. They always were, and always will be. Like, there is no. So
And principles, I say often, principles are the territory where we and what I said also, I don't remember. I don't remember. I'll come back with it. But next, you say coherent emotions, coherent emotion, and that's what's missing in us, most people, is we're very incoherent with our emotional state, and we don't master. Like when you want to have first of all, you want to have a great relationship with yourself. To have great relationship with others. So it's very important to bring those emotions to a coherent state, and
yes,
that's what you say often. We've been talking about coherency before, of
yeah,
light and sound, fractal coherence or something
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
part of it.
yeah,
But emotions, energy in motion, directed to gene rate in compassion, complete passion.
yeah,
Emotions which reach beyond the normal realm of negativity, sadness, and despair, or momentary joy, happiness. Emotion which can connect one to say three, cloud, and in due course, a star. I love that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Galactic emotions. That's what I'm talking about.
yeah,
Emotions which are like a laser instead of a torchlight.
yeah.
Laser travels much farther because of its coherence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For coherence, that the whole thing is has to be holistic. Okay, you have to be in the selves of reality. First, you have to be in reality. Then you have to be holistic. If you're not in reality or you're not holistic, then you cannot have coherent emotion. Your emotion will always be scattered. It'll be scattergun emotions, and like, just feeding of this or that, or just responding to this or that, and not having an actual bigger picture in place. Okay, and so that, like, that holism, that's why the word holy is WHOLY, like whole. Like, it is not HOLY only. They just changed the spelling in English to HOLY. They took out the W, which created all this sense of what is holy actually. What is holy? Holy is what is holistic is holy. Okay, so yeah, so
It's
that's
a
where the,
u- it's a
yeah,
word that is a bit hyperused, I think, holistic, and because here in on my side of the ocean, we have something that came out lately. Like I'm hearing that an holistic diet, but also they eat animals. Like what's holy in the eating other sentient
yeah,
being?
holistic means that doesn't mean holy. Holistic means like having a proper idea of balancing of the three humors. These people who are talking about that, they don't even know there are three humors in the body. Okay, they don't even know. So when they talk about holistic diet, they don't even know what holistic is in the first place and what they're talking about in that particular aspect. And for that they don't understand the human body first. You know, like, I mean, meat. I mean, because they don't even know that humans don't have the intestines to actually eat. Like, we don't have the carnivore intestines and stuff like that. So for holism is an actual realistic picture, which I said use the word reality with it. When I use the word holism, I use the word reality with it as well. Because without reality, you can't have any holism. Like, these people are not in a realistic framework of frame of mind, and then all of your emotions are not real as well. You find that they are just illusions which just pop up in your mind and then just go away, like, and that's all it is.
That's why I'm saying all lately. I've been saying there's a difference with having a thought. Like I can sit down, have thoughts, and thinking. Thinking and thoughts is different.
Yes,
When you think, you ask question, deep question within yourself, and you come up with answers. But if
yes,
you have just thoughts, I can have thoughts all my life. Doesn't mean I'm
yeah.
thinking, right?
Yeah, these are like fleeting waves which come and then they go, like Jim saying, like, that's all. Like, and that too, based on of your notions and programming and your that things and stuff like that. It's nothing to do with the reality of anything. So so like, people have to be really really wanting to, like, any person who starts on anything has to be very very much a fan of being in reality. Okay, like, a person who's not that cannot start on any process of any kind of awakening or of any kind of evolution. It's not possible for any being
That's
who wants to be in fantasy. And most of the thing in the media is about promoting fantasy, and everything is more about fantasy. So, like, so, yeah.
Now to finish, I'm going to finish with something that really probably, I think that's what hit me the most in that booklet. It's what I'm going to read now. And that was to me the revelation. And it, it made really big sense to me. And you're going to see that there should, okay, now the most important bit, okay, it's very important. There should be real humility towards the benevolent higher beings, which are closer to the state of perfection than one is. This automatically allows for smooth evolution.
Yes,
This is the part that hit
yes,
me in the heart.
yes, yes, yes,
The real journey only begins. That's for all of you out there listening. After
yes,
one has attained proper humility.
yes,
This
yes,
is so big. This is
yes,
probably what, and I'm happy you put that at the beginning because then it gives a lot of clarity. You have to have humility.
yeah. I
Sure,
mean,
you gotta
obviously,
be humble.
that is the basic psychological, behavioral plank you stand on to move forward. Okay, without that, you are not gonna move an inch forward. Okay, no matter what you do, no matter how many goji berries you're eating, or how many of these things you're doing, external things, it will not make any difference if you don't have that. Okay, so this is the most important bit. Like, that is the thing which they are trying to actually take out from people by actually, and that's what I said, by giving them chairs, sofas, beds, everything has been given to take out humility only, like, so that you always feel like a king, and you always feel like that you are already that thing. You don't need to learn anything. There's nothing you need to know, nothing you need to change, nothing you need to, like, so you feel like that. And then obviously humility is the last thing you have, like, people right now of this world, like Jim saying, towards anything which teaches them anything real or proper or actual, or anything, they don't have any that thing. Yeah, I mean they don't. Yeah, I mean.
Because if I wouldn't have that humbleness, that humility, I wouldn't be here. That's what brings me to you. That's what brings me to other people. Is
Yeah,
I am very humble, and I know I have a lot to learn. And I
yeah,
see you, like I said at the beginning, I have no problem seeing you as a benevolent higher beings for sure. You have done a lot more work than me. You're very aligned. You're very like I can even, like I said, see you as someone probably sent from the divine or something, but it's
yeah,
hard in my shape, in my head, in my man shape. Like I see you as a man, just like me. So that's where also we miss the humanity part because we see each other all in the
yeah,
same
but
shape,
there's a
same
different quality
form.
of it. So
You
like
know
that's
what
why.
I am? Don't know if I
But
explain
people don't
myself
do
right.
that like with the like no. But I'll see, like I'll tell you, people don't do like that. Like if people see guitar players, okay, and then they'll say, oh, this guitar player is much better than this guitar player. Okay, they are also human only. Like everybody is a man only, but they can tell there's a quality difference between this player and that player and this player and that player. They can tell the difference because the point is quality. Point is not just like what you see in the flesh or that thing. Even that has quality, but like there is a difference in quality in everything. Like so, is quality is where the thing is at. The word quality is the main important point here. Like what is the quality? Like that's why like if I play music or something and then nature responds, and another person who plays music and nothing happens, then there is a difference in quality of that sound and that music and that thing and stuff like so. It's not a matter of just like seeing everybody as just like, oh, they are just like born like us, and just because somebody's born like you and they die like doesn't mean that they're the same as you. Like that doesn't make them equivalent to you. Or like, yeah, like there is a huge difference in a perception, quality, awareness, knowledge, all kinds of things. Like there's a huge difference in being. Like so, yeah. So that's called beingness. What you are is a being.
I
Okay, that's it. And but beingness has many, many, many levels, and no beings are equal. Okay, like that people have to understand that. Like, okay, this is a very important point, which we'll discuss next time. Okay,
Yeah, but
this,
that's it. Where there's a place
yeah,
where we go through it in the book,
yeah.
yeah, for
We'll
sure.
do it. We'll do it next time. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, but we have a lot. Look, we just went through 2-3 pages, so we're gonna be a while talking about
yeah,
this because for sure it gave clarity. But I think we can bring even more clarity by talking together about it and
yeah,
having a
yes.
discussion about it. And yeah,
Right, right, Ramon. Okay,
so I
that's
really enjoy it, and for sure enjoy because life is for us to cherish and full joy
yes,
always. That's
yes,
what I make my. I think it's a noble goal to reach.
yes. Obviously, if you're not after enjoyment, then you're not gonna go higher. But then you can only go to hell because hell has pain and torture, and you can go there. There's no enjoyment like out there. So yeah,
Yeah, no, but
yeah,
it goes by stages. But I know at least I'm on the good foundation, the good basic, and I want to work on the basic because
yeah.
that's I have to relearn how to. I have to learn everything from scratch. So for sure, no,
So
it's
that's
about
good.
the
That's
basic
good.
and
That's good. That's good. So even with the true man, the true mon, so the true man, true means real, like real. So
yeah.
you have to get to the realness of being,
that
not
that
fake.
was never planned. That was never like it's like you said. It just happened. We were three guys together at the beginning and thinking of a name. And I like reggae music a lot, so Jamaica, Mon, and then okay, we're gonna go into truth. I first of all, I think I came here for that shit, bro. I came here for this. I came here for this. I know it deep within my heart. I wouldn't be on YouTube acting naturally like that if it wouldn't be natural. Like I don't know. It's so deep.
Yeah, yes, yes,
Life is so
next,
big. Life is so big, so immense that
yes, 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 yes.
anyway,
Yeah, but
we're
you have to
gonna
start
be here
somewhere.
again next week, and
Yes, yes,
probably next week you're gonna be okay to.
yes, next week. Yes, next
Okay,
week.
perfect. So thanks everyone. The chat wasn't active because we want your attention. Not
Yes,
in the chat, but on what we discuss here. So that's why the chat was off.
yes, yes.
So that's it. Thank you very much, everyone. And but thank you. I don't like that word anymore too
Yeah, okay,
much.
yes, that's fine. We can just be grateful for the. Yeah,
Yeah, that's it. So that's it. We'll be back next week, next strong week.
okay, okay, okay,
There's word that just doesn't make sense anymore.
okay.
But We'll get clarity. We'll get there. See ya, everybody. We're out. Boom.